Hey, it's Mr. Todnam from the health classroom.
And it's Mr. Todnam from the virtual classroom.
We're going to introduce my friend here, myself here. Who are you, anyway, and what's going on?
Well, I'm you. I'm Mr. Todnam, just a lot more animated.
Very punny. What should we call you? Pixel Todnam?
No.
What's a good
No,
name?
no, I'm you. I'm Mr. Todnam.
All right, whatever the case, we're going to have Mr. Todnam from the virtual classroom do a read aloud and give us some thoughts on different topics throughout this school year.
Yes, very true. And I'm happy to take the spotlight. In fact, I'm excited to see where things go with this. And maybe I'm just someone you can draw inspiration from.
I think it's also true that you have some friends, right?
Yes, I'm going to involve Idea. He's a light bulb, gives me a lot to think about. I also have Penny. She's a pencil, does a nice summary of events. And also Internet.
You mean the internet?
No, Internet, my good friend. If I have questions, I ask him everything and anything,
Okay.
everything and anything, everything
Okay.
and anything, anything and everything.
Very cool. All right, so let's get things going. Think of this kind of like an audiobook meets AI-powered animation. We're gonna look at life skills and character development.
Okay, we get it. All right, can you give me a chance to
Okay,
start?
I'm just trying to keep things colorful around here.
Great. Looking forward to it.
All right, enough of the puns and on with the show.
Hey everyone, we're ready to get started. Let's first ask Internet about our topic today. Our topic is personal agency. Hey Internet, what's personal agency?
Personal agency is the ability to make decisions and act independently, and to direct those actions towards achieving goals. A synonym is self-agency. Psychology Today lists personal agency as one of the highest levels of personal competence. Personal agency can be developed. Whatever your level, you can hold it steady, you can decline, or you can grow. Until next time, Internet out.
Okay, great. So here's a blog post all about personal agency. Let's start with a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. It goes like this. He says, "The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be." In a world that's constantly pulling us in a million directions, it's easy to feel like we're merely along for the ride. We're bombarded with expectations, pressures, and distractions that often leave us feeling overwhelmed and disconnected from our own sense of purpose. But here's the thing. The future isn't something that happens to us. It's something we actively create. And it all starts with taking control. It all starts with exercising personal agency, which means making intentional choices.
Hey, Mr. Tottenham. Just had a quick thought. I've heard of people being able to build their future. Can we use the word architect for that? Would that make sense?
Yes, Idea, great point. The architect of your future. See, that's the first step in exercising personal agency. It's understanding that we are in charge. We are the architect of our own life. So often we let external circumstances dictate our path, whether it's societal expectations, family pressures, or the constant demands of our careers. But the truth is, we have the power to choose how we respond to these forces and how we design our own narrative. Living is not merely existing. In other words, life is not a passive experience. It involves understanding every choice, no matter how small, has the potential to shape the future. The potential, however, only the potential. Every single thing we go through is not the most profound occurrence ever. The key here is to take ownership of our choices without getting too bogged down in the details. If we want to live a life aligned with our values, let's start by making intentional choices every day. Whether it's how we spend our time or who we surround ourselves with or the kind of work we do, each decision is a brick in the foundation of the life we are building. Being the architect of life doesn't mean having it all figured out. See, too often students in school are expected to do this at a young age. Teachers harp on showing up every day with purpose, being proactive, or making decisions that reflect deep desires. All good stuff, right? But instead of asking, what do you truly want to do in life? Perhaps instead the question to young people should involve small, deliberate steps toward a vision of agency. Whatever the specific endeavors turn out to be, a vision of agency. The initial query, that question, it was a bit too broad. What do you truly want to do in life? So perhaps that's just too generic. When I reflect on my own life journey from a young person until today, it's hard to realize that my past doesn't define me. It's truly difficult. It's difficult mental work. Our past doesn't define us. We are trying to teach ourselves to maintain a forward vision. And so how do we choose to show up each day? How do we choose to interact with others each day? It's all that stuff that matters. And that's a reminder that I want to share. We have the agency to decide what our future looks like. So how exactly do we ask our children or our students or our friends, and mostly ourselves, to create personal agency?
Hey, I know that we're really focused on the future, but would you agree that the past impacts our present more than the future does?
Thanks again, Idea. That's absolutely correct. Blending tradition with innovation. This is the second principle of personal agency. Recognizing the power of blending the wisdom of the past with the innovations of the present to create our future. We often think of the future as something radically new, but in reality, the future is built on the foundation of everything that has come before. It's about repeating, it's about remixing, it's about reinterpreting old ideas with new perspectives to create something fresh. Our past, whether it's our personal history, our cultural heritage, or the lessons passed down from previous generations, those all hold immense value. It's part of what makes us who we are. But the world we live in today is moving faster than ever before, and the opportunities that technology and social change and global connectivity, it's those opportunities that all of that provides that seem unprecedented. Rather than seeing tradition and innovation as opposing forces, let's think of them as complementary forces. There's a beauty in honoring the past while embracing new ideas of thinking. It's essential to find balance. It is wise to use knowledge we've inherited while staying open to the possibilities of what's to come. Personal agency comes from our ability to navigate this intersection and to use both tradition and innovation to our advantage. For example, while teaching, writing, or speaking, I often do what everyone does. I draw from my own experiences and the lessons I've learned in my personal life while constantly exploring new ideas or new tools or new ways of thinking. Stories of the past bring up questions about the future. This blend of old and new allows me to stay grounded while evolving with my students. The future is built from the past, but it's also propelled forward by our willingness to innovate and adapt.
So I know that stress is defined as the body's response to change, and I know that stress can be perceived as positive or negative. Would you agree that some stress and therefore some discomfort is essential for personal agency?
Yes, Idea, and that's correct, and thank you for all of this. The third and perhaps most important principle of personal agency is embracing change. Change is often perceived as uncomfortable, unpredictable, and at times unsettling. That's all true. But if we want to shape our own future, we have to learn to see change as an ally rather than an enemy. We've all heard the quote that the only constant in life is change. Are we willing to admit that's true? The only constant in life is change. Well, whether change shifts in our relationships or in our careers or in the community around us, change is inevitable, seemingly inevitable. And while it can feel daunting, it's also where the growth happens. When we embrace change rather than resist it, we can unlock the potential for transformation. Cliche, perhaps, but cliches often exist because they hold truth. Personally, I've come to realize that every change, even the uncomfortable ones, have a lesson to teach. Change might involve adapting to a new environment, such as moving towns or switching jobs. Change might include learning new skills or letting go of outdated beliefs, like in a classroom setting or when listening to a mentor. And change may even offer us the opportunity to reinvent ourselves, to add, to grow, to step into the next version of who we're meant to be. Embracing change does require a certain mindset. It isn't just a switch we can flip on one random day of the week, but in doing so, leaning into change, we create space for new possibilities. Items like flexibility and resilience and a willingness to push into the unknown prove essential. If we approach change with curiosity instead of fear, we can navigate it with confidence and grace. The future doesn't belong to those who resist change. It belongs to those who are willing to evolve. Okay, here's Penny.
Hi everyone, it's Penny, and I'm here with a summary of Personal Agency by Mr. Tottenham. We learned today that self-empowerment matters. Self-empowerment is recognizing oneself as the architect of their own life. It's making intentional choices to actively shape the future. We also learned that balancing tradition and innovation matters. This is valuing your past experiences and your cultural heritage while embracing new ideas and technologies to create a fresh perspective. And finally, we learned that embracing change is huge in life. In fact, accepting change is an essential part of personal growth. We want to use it to exercise personal agency in navigating life's journey. Thanks, Mr. T.
Personal agency is all about recognizing the power we have to shape our own life. We are the architects of our future, and the choices we make today will define the path we walk tomorrow. By blending the wisdom of the past with the possibilities of the present, and by embracing change along the way, we can be equipped to create a life we were meant to live. Remember, the future isn't something that happens to us. It's something we actively create. And it all starts with taking personal agency in our own journey. So, what choices are in store for today and, in turn, tomorrow? Make sure you check our resources, of course, and the blog link will be included in any of our video here. And as always, thanks for watching. Let us know what you think about this new rendition of video here with virtual Mr. Todnam. Mr. Todnam from the virtual classroom. Take care, everyone.